Welcome to ScrapDragon TV. In this episode, we'll discuss the scrap buying procedure for creating a ticket at a weigh-in, weigh-out scale. We're going to start the ticket at a weigh-in, weigh-out scale. Operators work on this touchscreen all day long buying scrap. On this screen, they can retrieve tickets that are in process and have been held, closed, or paid. And they create new tickets here. The buttons on the left link to other modules for shipping and transfers, which are typical functions of the truck scale. The camera in the upper left-hand corner will display live images of all connected cameras. If we can identify the customer, we'll start a customer ticket. Since we don't recognize the customer, we'll create a quick ticket and add the customer information later. This screen is laid out so we can quickly create the ticket. Using the touchscreen instead of the mouse makes user entry and ticket processing more efficient. It is easy to quickly review the line item details before closing or paying tickets. There are several areas to this screen. In the ticket header, the customer name is shown. If the actual customer has not been selected yet, as in this case, the name is displayed as a valued customer. The ticket number is next to it. Touch commodity buttons on the left to add items to the ticket. Some buttons open other menus of commodity buttons. You may easily customize menus for the materials that you purchase using our button maker. The customer has brought in an automobile to sell us. We've added automobiles to the ticket by touching the Autos button. Line items display in the ticket preview area showing weights, deductions, and prices. Each commodity that is purchased is added as a line item to the ticket preview area. When a ticket line item is selected, the processing buttons for weights, deducts, and prices allow you to add the information for this line item. When you've finished adding the information, end of ticket processing buttons are available for closing the ticket, paying the ticket, or voiding the ticket. Action items along the bottom allow you to perform other functions. They're like shortcuts. If you are a ScrapDragon Classic customer, then you will appreciate that these functions can now all be done from the main buying screen instead of having to open additional screens. Let's get the gross weight. Up to 4 scales can be connected to each workstation. The weight can be added manually or by reading the scale. A picture is taken of the vehicle and load whenever a weight is taken. Notice the ticket preview shows the gross weight. Once we have the weight, the driver will move off the scale to unload. Hold the ticket while the customer unloads the vehicle. We can continue servicing other customers until the truck returns. This is the whole description screen. Even though we have a picture of the vehicle, we have the option of adding a description as well. The 21 buttons along the top let us quickly choose the best descriptors for the vehicle. These buttons are user-defined and customizable for your yard's needs, or you can enter the details using the electronic keyboard. You return to the Buy screen where you can start another ticket to service the next customer. When the customer returns, reopen the ticket by viewing the Held Tickets list. This list shows tickets that are currently unloading in the yard. The correct one can easily be selected from the list using the picture and description, or you can scan the yard ticket. Now we'll need to get the tare weight. This is the deduction screen. We can now enter a deduction as a percent of the value of the line. We have the ability to add multiple deductions to a commodity. Deduction reasons are user-definable for your yard, and more than one can be assigned to each line item. We'll add a deduction for tires. The ticket preview has updated. You may enter the VIN or other information for your vehicle that is required for government reporting. Notice that the details automatically populate when the VIN is entered, and you can just add the color and other details. The VIN information may also be entered later in the process if it is not available now. If necessary, additional VINs can be entered on a line. Are we finished with this ticket? If so, the ticket can be paid at the scale or closed for subsequent payment at the pay window. Before paying the ticket, we need to identify the customer. We'll touch Change Customer. There are a couple of ways to identify the customer. We can search for the customer by entering any letters or numbers. Notice the electronic keyboard? It is shown throughout ScrapDragon and can be used to enter information when necessary. Just toggle to open or close it. This search is an advantage over ScrapDragon Classic because it searches 6 fields at one time, and the search string can be from any part of the field, whereas previously you had to choose the field to search and could only search from the beginning of the field. If the customer is not already on file, we can quickly add a new customer by scanning the driver's license. Notice the customer name at the top has changed. Notice that the ticket has been repriced for the selected customer. The commodity prices are based on the customer and the commodity combined. You may set up special prices specifically for your customers and commodities. The cashier can look over the ticket to be sure everything is accurate before paying it. Notice the green and red lights? A red light indicates the customer or line item is not in compliance with government reporting requirements set up in the system. Let's see what's wrong with this customer. We see that a delivery vehicle needs to be assigned to this customer because it is required by law. The delivery vehicles shown have previously been entered. The system stores multiple delivery vehicles and trailers for each customer. And we're ready to pay the ticket and print the receipt. The scale ticket is printed and, if required, signed by the customer and kept by the yard after payment. We can also capture the customer's signature electronically. You may pay by cash, check, or Easy Cash. The payment may be split into multiple payments as requested by the customer or required by law. We're going to pay by check. We'll pay the line. ScrapDragon supports multiple checking accounts and can print the checks. Check information may be edited, including the check number or payee name or address and the memo field. Then the payment receipt prints and is given to the customer. All the printing is optional and customizable for each workstation. The operator is returned to the buy screen ready to service another customer. As you have seen, the operator has complete control over the buy process and can quickly create and edit a ticket and hold, close, and pay it. This concludes this episode of ScrapDragon TV.